With it being midterm season, we need to know where we can get caffeine. And staff reporter Jess Garcia tells us about a place down in Socorro, Texas called Cafe Piro, who doesn't only serve coffee in cups, but also gives you a taste of culture. After that, we break down March Madness, giving our Cinderella predictions on who might go far in one of America's largest sporting events. And finally, we're talking about Cinemark Gamescape. New entertainment options down in El Paso, Texas, and we get slapped with some slap sauce as well. What does that entail? Well, stay tuned for the whole episode. I'm Sebastian Perez-Navarro, and you're watching the Prospector Podcast, Season 12, Episode 4. They called Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. Now that we're in Episode 4, does that title fit our series? I really can't tell, but we've made it. 4 episodes, double digits, whatever that makes sense, 2x2, multiplication tables, you name it, we're on it. Cameron Mason, Kristian Hernandez down on the table. Jess Garcia joins us back on the Prospector Podcast. I'm Sebastian Perez-Navarro, and guys, I hope you brought energy because we're talking about caffeine, but not just any coffee. Probably the most unique coffee shop in what I would claim is all of Texas. The coffee shop is called Cafe Piro, where you can literally make your own mugs. And as proof, look at that mug over there. That one's custom made. The llama one is thrifted, and it's nice, but that one just made, who we sent to go cover Cafecito en Socorro. Jess, thank you so much for welcoming us back.
Yeah, of course. It's great to be here. I love being here.
The pressing issue on the table is, did you take your dad with you to enjoy a coffee? Mr. Garcia, did you give that man some coffee? Did you?
Believe it or not, my dad's the one who introduces me to these coffee shops.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's the mastermind.
Like 9 out of 10 times, he's the one showing me these places.
So what you're saying is that we need to make him a contributor.
Basically.
Yo, Mr. Garcia.
Dad.
You want a part-time job or what? We can't pay you.
We can't pay him.
No.
Anywho.
Anyways.
Let's jump into it. Cafe Piro. Jess, you got to go. First of all, it's on the way in Socorro, so a little bit of a drive considering how big El Paso can be, but the most basic thing that we can ask is, was it worth it?
Honestly, I think it's so worth it. Cafe Piro has so many elements to it that I can just go on and on about. I think one of the biggest things is that the owners are super friendly, and their barista that currently works there is also super friendly. It feels very at home. If you want a coffee shop where you can feel chill at home, not rushed, that's the place to go.
The owners, Gabe and Mel Padilla, both of them a couple representing the Piro native tribe that is native to Socorro. They're essentially bringing their culture and introducing it to people through food and coffee. And I'm totally not just reading the headline as I say that. But one of the prime examples, maybe I am, by the way, that's right here. This is how we're going. This is how we're doing it right now, all right? Physical print media isn't dead. One of the biggest things, though, of how they're spreading their culture is by literally having pottery workshops. They let you make your own mug, and then they let you have coffee in that mug. It's incredible how intricate these coffee shops are being, especially at a time when places like Starbucks or Dunkin' are getting hated on because they're not as caring to their customers as people want them to be.
Yeah, I had a question about the shop. Is it since it's like more it's like more of those inclusive shops, so is it like smaller or is it a little bit bigger? What are you working
I
with?
feel like it's actually a pretty decent sized cafe.
Size?
Like
Yeah.
it's the size of a small restaurant.
That's
and
nice.
it is kind of restaurant style because you order at the counter like a regular cafe, but then they take you out and they wait the food to you. And your coffee and everything. You can go sit down and relax and you don't have to worry about getting up and getting your drink, food.
How's the architecture? What's it built like?
The architecture, it's kind of like an old Adobe house. It's been there for a long time. That's my understanding. And it kind of stood by itself, or like there was much going on there for a while. And Gabe and Mel actually started off as a food truck, a barbecue food truck. And they wanted to open up a brick and mortar, and they wanted to make it a coffee shop. So they found this place, which was around the street from where they live, and they rented it. So now they're running this coffee house outside of in this little Adobe house.
So what got them to change from something so distinct like barbecue all the way to making coffee?
Literally, what they told me was it was so simple, but it made so much sense. they love showing their culture through food, coffee. And they decided, okay, well, there's not really any coffee shops around here, and this place is for rent around the corner, so let's make it into a coffee shop. And in comparison to the barbecue food truck they had, their entire menu is vegetarian.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how was that mug making process? That's what I'm really.
Oh, okay. Let me explain the mug making process. So Mel is the one who does most of the pottery. All of their bowls, lots of their mugs, and all of their plates are actually homemade. And every other Saturday, I want to say, they host a pottery making class. They do the pinch pot method. You make a lot of stuff with your hands.
So it's like that spinning disc, right? And then
they don't actually use the
What?
spinning disc. No, the one time I kind of went to one, they didn't have the spinning disc. You just make it with your hands.
you just sculpt it with your bare
You
hands.
sculpt it with your bare hands,
wow.
which
Just
is a
how
lot
God
of their thing, you
Yeah.
know. But you go
With your bare hands,
your
not the
bare
Hulk hands. You
hands.
can't use it with the Hulk hands. That one.
That's not gonna be a good mug though.
You guys know the Hulk hands I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but like, how are you gonna
Do
build
you?
a mug with that?
You don't know the toy Hulk
I like
hands?
no. I
Like to
spaced
wear?
out for like 2 seconds.
All right, so we're talking about hand making mugs.
Yes.
And I was basically trying to make a joke that you can make it with Hulk hands.
Oh, you said Hulk hands. Okay.
What did you think I said?
Whole hands.
Whole hands.
Whole.
Yeah, I heard
Whole-
that first actually. I didn't
whole
hear that
hands.
first. I'm like,
What? All right, let's continue. Anywho,
But you make the pinch pot. It's made out of, I believe, locally sourced clay. And they try different clays here and there, but Mel prefers some clays over others. And then you make it, you paint it. I don't know the proper word for painting.
it's like you're making
pottery.
Easter eggs.
Basically.
It's Easter all
Basically.
season long, guys.
So they do that, and then they have their own pottery studio across from the cafe. So they put them in the kiln, and then in 2 to 3 weeks, everyone who attended, their pottery is ready for pickup.
Vegetarian food doesn't necessarily have the best of reputations, to say the least. It could be really hit or miss, depending on who you are, what type of food do you like, what day you're having, etc. But the reason why they're selling exclusively vegetarian food is because of how the Piro tribe used to live. Meat was often scarce for them, so they relied on fruits and vegetables. Just when trying the menu, could you even tell that it was vegetarian, or for the dishes that were like obviously were meatless, did they still have the taste that people would like to see in a restaurant?
I feel like you're eating it, you're aware, like, okay, there's no meat in it, but I think it's so good. The food is so good. You eat it and you're not really like,
Give us some menu items. Throw them out.
All right, so first they have their egg pie. I tried it about a year ago, and it was
So
my
you've been going to
favorite.
this place even before the Prospector sent you.
I discovered this place like 2 years ago. Well, my
Really?
dad
Oh, wow.
discovered this place 2 years ago.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank
Everybody
you.
say it. Everybody say
Thank you,
it.
Mr.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Dad.
Garcia. I'm not Christian. Those lips are sealed.
I did say it.
No, you
Just in a
didn't.
very
I heard
low
him.
voice
I
when
heard
said
him.
it.
I heard him.
You guys heard him?
I heard him.
I heard him.
Maybe I'm just,
Yeah.
my ears are going hard of hearing. Anywho, so you discovered this place 2 years ago.
Yes, and they had a different menu then and different hours then. They were more of a dinner place, and they weren't vegetarian then. And now they are. They switched to breakfast hours, and they have a vegetarian menu. So my favorite is their egg pie, which is a quiche. And it has cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, goat cheese, actually. Goat cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, spinach,
So-
and egg. And it is so good. I think that's probably my favorite on the menu. And after that is their Tres Hermanas pozole. So the Tres Hermanas in indigenous culture is beans, corn, and squash. The way Gabe kind of described it to me once is they all help each other grow. The corn provides shade for one of the crops to grow, and then one of the crops provides nutrient to the soil that helps the other crops grow. It's kind of symbiosis, basically. So that's what the Tres Hermanas is. So the Tres Hermanas pozole is a vegetarian pozole with squash, beans, seeds, and corn.
So the biggest contingent that's probably going to hold in the balance, whether or not people decide to go, is the type of coffees that they have. Is it just black coffees, lattes, or a little bit basic, or are they getting into the more complex orders like, give me a frap with 3 pumps of vanilla, espresso,
Yeah.
matcha. What else is there?
Yeah, there's venti ice water.
Venti ice water.
Ice
Pinkity
water.
drink.
A pinkity drink.
Pinkity drinkity.
Pinkity drinkity. So what type of coffees are people going to be able to order when going to this place? And I say when because you should totally check it out and make the drive.
You should. They basically have
Shameless plug.
any type of coffee you want. They don't do drip coffee, but they could do Americanos.
Drip coffee? Drip?
Oh, let me
coffee
get
that's
into
dripped
this.
up?
Let
You
me-
wearing some drip, you little mug? Anyway, I'm sorry.
I worked as a barista for like almost a year.
You did?
I did.
Oh, guys,
Oh,
we're unlocking the
so-
lore
Wait,
here.
where did you work? Was it like a Dunkin', right? Or was it
Well,
like a-
in high school, I worked at Dunkin', but then before I worked at the Prospector, I worked at Salt and Honey for like 7, 8
What's
months.
that place?
Salt and Honey is a local brunch restaurant. It's actually on Texas Street, a little like 5 minutes from downtown.
Okay.
And they're really good. I do suggest going to that one too.
So you feel the pain of the barista life.
Yeah, I've lived its up and downs, basically. And you learn a lot when you're a barista, like you're working with the espresso and everything barista. So like there's drip coffee, which is the coffee you can make at your house with the coffee machine, the Keurig, and it drips basically. And then there's Americanos, which you make with espresso. And espresso is a lot stronger than drip coffee. And it's a whole thing. I could get into it.
Da 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 espresso.
I have no idea where you're.
That's
talking.
that
You don't know
me
that?
espresso.
Yeah, you don't know the Sabrina Carpenter song?
No.
What?
Oh, I don't listen to Sabrina Carpenter.
No, not listening to Sabrina Carpenter, but you've obviously heard the song.
I don't think I have.
Okay.
Oh, a clip of
Sorry.
it. A clip
That's
of it, maybe.
Yeah, you guys are lying. Both of you are liars. And the question, both of you are liars. We got that out of the way, but are you guys coffee people?
I actually stay away from caffeine. I try and avoid caffeine at all times. I do my best.
That's
you know.
good.
Really?
That's really
Yeah.
good, actually.
Well, I see how some people are kind of addicted to caffeine. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I don't want that for myself.
People get pretty bad with it.
I feel like a
Those are-
tweaker.
Yeah.
Like I,
Oh my
if I don't, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, if I don't have like 4
I
espresso
think-
shots a day, that's it. I have a
Really?
headache for
4?
the next 2 days.
Well, what's your routine for the morning? Like, what
So
kind
my
of-
routine, I'll wake up in the morning. I'll make myself either a black tea with 2 bags or a drip coffee, right? And then
I can't get over that name. Drip coffee.
Drip coffee.
It's just dripped out coffee.
I'll have 1 cup of that, maybe 2. And then I come to school, usually at school or on my way, I'll get myself another latte. And latte usually has 2 shots of espresso, so that's stronger than what I'm drinking
So
in the
you
morning.
drink a coffee in the morning, and then you come to school like an hour later, and you drink another coffee.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then usually for dinner, like when I do homework, instead of drinking more coffee, I'll get myself like a Dr. Pepper to do my homework.
Like
with.
like Dr Pepper Zero or like a
Like-
full Dr Pepper.
Like a full like XL Polar
Are
Pop.
you talking about like a
Dr.
tall
Pepper.
boy?
Oh, man.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm not a really big soda guy. I've always stayed away from that all my life. So
Soda?
kind of a pro. Cam, do you drink sodas? You don't strike me as the guy who drinks coffee. You don't. Sodas, I don't know. I think occasionally.
Like coffee, like maybe like I know for sure like every Sunday. Like before I go to church, it's like a coffee like every Sunday. I don't know why, but I do. And then soda. Yeah, if
You
I'm like
dabble.
if I dabble, if I'm out and about and like they have like lemonade, so you know like I'll get some soda. And if it's gonna be soda, it's gonna be like Sprite or like root beer, but
Yeah.
nothing else really.
That's fair. So Kristian, we already learned that you stay away from coffee. But even for the people that aren't really into coffee, is Cafe Piro a place to experience, go out and try some things?
So I feel like I never answered the original question. They can make you your normal regular espresso, regular Americano, regular coffee, but they specialize in their specialty drinks, which are like marranito lattes, orange creamsicle lattes.
Marranito, expand on that.
That one
So
sounds good. Orange
you know the
creamsicle.
marranito cookie, like
Yeah.
I don't.
It's like shaped like a pig. You know what I'm talking about?
The pig cookie.
Yeah.
the pig cookie,
The pig. I have no idea
So
what you're
that
talking
No,
pig
about.
it's like
the pig cookie.
it's like a dark.
It's
It looks
like-
like whole wheat bread in a way.
Oh, I think I.
It
And it's
kind
like-
of tastes
and
like gingerbread.
And it has some
Are
spice.
you guys
to
talking
it.
about animal crackers or what?
No, it's like
The animal cracker latte.
this big. Like, dude, it's amazing. I love my.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Y'all need to hit up the local bakery and get some.
Yes.
But it's a Mexican pastry,
Mm-hmm.
a Mexican cookie, and they basically made it into a latte form with the same spices that you put into that cookie. And a lot of the specialty drinks comes from a special place in Mel's heart. So Mel used to be a bartender. She used to work in the service industry. So a lot of her drinks now are basically mocktails, and you don't have to get them with espresso. You don't have to get them with coffee. She can do matcha. She can do teas. So if you're not one for like the strong coffee taste, you could have other options.
That's pretty cool.
I found
know
out what a maranito cookie is. I always thought for all of my life it was a turtle. And the reason why is because ever since I moved to El Paso, this was a breakfast option back at my elementary school, all the way up until high school. Someone told me it was a turtle. And I never saw it like a pig. I always saw it like a turtle. We had some of these, Cam.
You bring
The
me into it.
cafeteria, the cafeteria would serve these.
You guys had a rich high
Maranito
school.
cookies. What?
I'm like, you guys had a rich high school.
Oh no,
I've
they
never had
they tasted really bad.
Oh,
They
okay.
tasted terribly.
Okay.
It was like super artificial and things. So I would definitely like to taste one from a local bakery. All right, that latte sounds pretty good. So does Cafe Piro, which, by the way, you should check it out, and we got the direction right for you. It is... Wait, let me say something real quick. They usually have pottery workshops every single week. Go check it out.
Every other week. It's
It's every other week, right? All right, thank you, Jess, for getting the layup. So do the calculations. When will they have a pottery workshop, say March 20th?
I wanna say probably next weekend actually. And fun fact, they also do dinners, exclusive dinners, private dinners. You pay for a ticket and you go, and they'll do different things. So once they did Indian and native food mix. Once they did a barrio boil, which is a seafood boil with more of a native twist.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds good.
What else have they done? They have special dinners like that I also suggest going to.
We got a bro date brewing up. Kristian and Cam are going to
Bro
go
date.
out and have an exclusive dinner. And they are leaving me out. I'm single too, guys. All right. Nonetheless, Cafe Piro is open on Thursdays from 9 to 2. Friday through Sunday from 10 to 3. They are located on 9993. That's triple nines and a 3. Socorro Road in Socorro, Texas. Make the drive. Get an experience with coffee that you really haven't had before. I'm going to go check it out. That's for sure. You guys should too.
Yeah, me too.
Invite me on your bro date, guys. Let's go. Exclusive dinner. How about that?
You guys, you can go with us in the morning, and then we're only us two on the date.
Sure.
I'm going to find you co-host then, all right? I'm going to find you co-host then, all right? For you guys, the door's right there. For you, don't go anywhere. You're watching The Prospector Season 12, Episode 4. Call us Luke Skywalker and the gang, or whatever.
Say Luca Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker.
Luke, okay.
Yeah. Hear me right, Mr. Flub. You're watching the Prospector Podcast,
Dang.
Season 12, Episode 4. I took their invitation and their decline of inviting me personally. Don't go anywhere and see whether or not if Cam and Kristian are still on the table. As you can see, Kristian and Cam were not kicked out of the table because I'm so nice. And they agreed to invite me on their bro date, right, guys?
Yeah.
Please?
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
You guys are mean. That's incredibly rude.
I'll go on a bro date with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, remember, ours
Joe's
is
a real
first,
one.
though.
No, ours is first.
Ours is first.
What about
No.
mine, bro? Didn't we
No.
have one?
Ours was we've had a bunch already.
Joe's a real one. You guys aren't real ones, all right? That's not real of you.
Yeah, we should just make Joe a co-host at this point.
Bless you.
We really should.
But it'd be a table of 4.
Fifth person. Sit
I
right
mean,
here.
With the invisible mic hanging over them?
Yeah,
I mean,
lavalier, yeah.
I guess so.
Tell them to put in a fifth mic.
Put in, yeah,
just
yeah.
tell him, hey, put in a fifth.
Hey, put in the fifth mic. How much is it going to cost? My tuition for a semester?
Real.
I guess so, right? All right. Nonetheless, he doesn't know much. Joe, your full name, Joseph Ezekiel Montero. Thank you so much for joining us back on the Prospector Podcast, Season 12, Episode 4. Are you surprised we made it to 4 episodes?
I'm not. This thing's been a lot of fun to film every single week, so no, I'm not surprised at all.
My heart is 5 times bigger.
Oh my god.
Kristian, I know you're not like the Grinch anymore because this experience has
Anymore.
changed you.
Anymore.
Anymore?
I think you still are. All right, we're talking about March Madness, guys. By the time this episode comes out, March Madness would have already started. The tournament starts on Sunday, March 16th. 68 teams battle it out to crown a national champion, and for many, it is the highlight of their year. Why are we talking about March Madness? Because it's possibly one of the most important sports tournaments in American culture that happens per year. Secondly, because UTEP might make it. It's not looking good, but after all, every
Big, huge.
That's a huge mic.
Here's the thing, right? CUSA takes all of their 10 teams to their conference tournament. Whoever wins that gets an automatic bid. 31 teams are also in that situation where they win their conference tournament and they get an automatic bid. The other 37 are picked out by at-large bids. UTEP's definitely not a team that's going to get an at-large bid, but they did make a run where they beat the then number 1 seeded Sam Houston Bearcats and were 1 game shy of March Madness, and they would have won if they had more experience in close games. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be confirmed whether or not UTEP makes the dance. But let's look at the national scope. Auburn is currently at 1, followed by Duke, Houston, Tennessee, Florida, St. John's, Alabama, Michigan State, Texas Tech, and Iowa State. Those are the top 10 teams. Which ones can we expect that are going to make a run? Because some surprisers here is, as ESPN can project for us, the first 4 out include Oklahoma, Xavier, North Carolina, and Texas. Those are 2 really big SEC schools that you're leaving out of the pool.
Yeah, but for good reason. Yeah, because they just haven't. Especially Texas, I expected more from Texas. Granted, they did come to the SEC, but I expected more from them, and they just haven't performed well, being even a top. I think they were a nationally ranked team last year. Just to drop and have that fall off, along with a powerhouse like North Carolina, they don't deserve to be in there unless they make a run in their own conference play, like you were saying with UTEP. They can do the same thing, and possibly they could make a case for themselves.
Well, even then, it's like the SEC is maybe. I know it's arguably like the 3rd best conference in basketball because you have Big 12 and ACC. Those are the top 2 schools, and they left the Big 12 as well. So probably ACC, which should be arguably easier, but Tennessee is just a titan of a school recently, and with Auburn as well.
Low-key,
So-
I think Tennessee's some frauds.
Really?
I do.
Hot take.
Really?
I
I
do.
don't mind you at all. Well, to me, like, I grew up watching Kansas play, and that was my team watching them. Even before I went to, like, college, now I'm a UTEP alma minor. Things like that. I've always watched them play. I saw them win the championship in 2022. So seeing how they're unranked nationally right now,
That's
was like
crazy.
one of the first times ever
Yeah.
in the Bill Self era. And I'm really hoping that they do well. But I think Iowa State is legit. I think they're a really, really good team. I think they have what it takes to maybe go all the way.
Is that your pick? Is that your prediction?
Yes.
Yes.
I think,
Really? Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
Iowa State over teams like Texas Tech, Michigan State, Alabama, or the biggest ones, Duke and Auburn? Auburn's been playing lights out. Cam, you pointed out to me, though, they just lost previously. Currently, at the time of filming, they're 27-2. They have the most points in all of the nation thus far. Duke follows in second with a close 1,458. After that, we once again go down the list, which we already mentioned. Iowa State ranks a solid 10th, right? They rank above teams like Clemson, Wisconsin, Maryland, Louisville, Missouri, you name it, in the top 25 overall standings. But Kristian, why does Iowa State jump out to you over established powerhouses?
Well, one time I saw how they beat Kansas, and they beat them really bad. But at the same time, it goes back to way, way back in the first episode about my first point, is that in basketball, there's so many D1 schools. This talent pool is so big. There's such a huge talent pool to everyone. Just like with Villanova and UMBC, that big upset against them.
Yes.
It's because Villanova was running a very conventional style offense where they had like 2 centers on the block and having them screen the whole game, so they only had like 3 shooters playing. And then UMBC had a really modern offense where they're running around, be able to have good ball movement, and good scoring with it, you know?
Yeah.
So anything could happen. And we saw Purdue got really upset by one team one time, and they were like the number 1
It
team.
seems like every year.
Yeah.
Seems like every year with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they lost horribly. You know, like, what are you going to do? It's always a Cinderella, whether it's Oral Roberts, Loyola College.
Oh, you
anything
always
like-
got to watch out for those guys.
Yeah, exactly. It happens every year.
So where did the fall off of North Carolina men's basketball come from? They're decorated when it comes to basketball championships, winning their last March Madness title officially in 2017. They've been good, plus it's the school of Jordan. How are you going to leave them out, and why have they been so bad if they currently rank 5th in their conference?
That actually hits the soul because I'm a North Carolina fan, and I can tell you.
So why are you leaving them out?
Why are they leaving out? Because these guys cannot play. They can't. One, we didn't recruit good for any type of center.
But they're 4th in the ACC.
Yes. Are they 4th in the ACC?
They're 4th in the ACC.
They have
20 and 11.
They've ranked up a little bit better, but still they're just not. They're not performing like a tournament team. If that makes any sense.
You were speaking about recruitment on a center. What's the deal with that?
You know what? It just goes down to back to our coach. I'm going a little personal here, but our coach just doesn't know how to recruit centers. We just recruited a bunch of guards. And me and Kristian were talking about this the first episode. Like, you need an established big, and we don't have that. So teams like a Duke, that's why they just overpower us, because Duke averages, bro. Their tall guys are like 6'7". You know, they got Cooper Flag. They got all these tall people, and we only have guards. So when it comes to a tournament run, you're not going to make that with guards. You need easy points. In times
high percentage shots.
Yeah, you need high percentage shots. And that's how some of these teams are able to go win and stuff like that in the tournament and make runs, because they're taking good shots, they're making shots, and then they get on a run. But we haven't been able to show to do that yet.
Luckily for me and Cam, Cooper Flag is older than us by a couple of months. For you guys, Cooper Flag is currently... Wait, no, my mistake. Cooper Flag is older than us. Cooper Flag was born on December 21st of 2006. He's 18, and he's 6'9".
Aren't you 19?
I'm 19. He's 18. I'm 19. He's 18. And he's 6'9", and he's taking the college basketball world by storm. 205 pounds, 6'9", already being favored for the NBA draft, barely a guard for Duke. And he's already getting so much attention. Powerful wins. The most recent one at the time of recording is versus Wake Forest. Duke just dominated Wake Forest entirely. So for a guy this young, literally imagine taking me a couple of months ago and throwing me into March Madness. Obviously, he's got better ball skills than me, to say the least. But hey, I could have measured up in the 5th grade. All right?
Really?
That's no lie.
You were hooping like that in the 5th grade.
I was tough.
Like that.
Listen.
You could step back and
When
shoot.
Stephen Curry won the 2017 NBA Finals, I was popping free throws like it was nobody's business in 5th grade basketball
you were a
camp.
free throw merchant.
I was just hitting it, bro.
So you
I
would
was
be
just
like
hitting
James
it.
Harden, call the fouls, and then get the free throws.
You know what, man? I think my overall field goal percentage is like 5. So we're gonna leave it there.
Percent?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was bad. It was bad.
I can teach you how to shoot. I'm not
No.
even lying. I can actually teach you.
Just teach me how to shoot.
I would appreciate that. Now, Kristian, you played basketball. Cam, you played basketball. Not in a March Madness, but you know those feelings of big games, right? So what's it like your first time when you're in that situation? And can an 18-year-old hold the weight of March Madness on his shoulders?
I think so. Well, there's a lot of one-and-done guys like Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, guys like that who have made a big... Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
These guys who just did a one-and-done in college, and they'd be able to go. It's a matter of, can a coach trust them? Can their teammates trust them? And can they trust their teammates as well?
Well, can you trust Cooper Flag? He's averaging 21 points this season so far. He's played well. He's obviously the star player of Duke. Can you trust him?
Well, what's his plus-minus? Can we see that? I know it's not an accurate stat or, live by,
It's like
die by that
it's a
stat,
good
but
stat, though.
if it's like a +7, that's really good.
I'm pretty sure it's a good number.
ESPN don't have the plus minus, and I didn't have it prepped. But I can tell you his field goal percentage. He's making 49.7% of his shots, 38% from 3, and he's making the shots he needs to from the charity stripe, 82.8%, rebounds at 7.5, and assists 4.2 per game. So he's obviously gaining some momentum. Total points he has this season, averaging per game, is 19.6. Those are his career stats for Duke because he's a freshman. This is his first year. So do with that as you will, but for an 18-year-old, that's pretty tough.
No, that is. And when going back to your question, I think not all the weight. I know he's the center of attention. He's a big face. When you think of Duke, you think of Cooper Flag. But he has so many good pieces around him also that it takes load off of his shoulders also, because you're surrounded with that talent, with the recruitment to be a powerhouse, to be built for a tournament like this. So, of course he's going to be the main attention, but, it doesn't all run through him.
It shouldn't take away from everyone else.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
when you're confident, you feel good, you look good,
Exactly.
you're going to make the shots.
play
bro.
good.
You're going to make the shots.
Yeah.
But to me, I just want to say that to me, he's still a kid. He's 18. That reminds me of Connor Bedard. I forgot to say his name. He got drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round a couple years ago. He's only 18 years old. Like, these kids who are so young and making such a big impact and making so much money at the beginning, it could be a lot of pressure for them. So for me, I try to make sure, like in Connor Bedard, I just hope that they'll be able to handle it. Because, when you're 18, you're just thrown into adult life and you kind of have to just hit the ground running sometimes. And I just hope that he can do well throughout his career, whether it be still in Duke or just going into the NBA. I just hope he has a good career going on.
So who are your guys' favorites to make a Cinderella run?
Man, Loyola College, man. I always got to pray on them,
Why?
It's
Why
such a-
Loyola?
It's such a tradition that there's Cinderellas, that they make upsets like that.
So you're only doing it because of past tradition or the status quo is why you're picking them.
It's not the status quo. I like to say it's just tradition. It's the power tradition, and it feels good to be a part of that tradition. I'd like to say Kansas again because they
Kansas?
They beat North Carolina in 2022, and that's when Caleb Love was in there, right? But he
Yeah.
transferred to Arizona, and I think the reason why North Carolina isn't doing too well is because people transferred over too. And they could have
Transfers?
very well won that tournament if their center wasn't hurt with an ankle injury. I know that for sure because they were down. Kansas was down 15 during the half, or at the half, and then just went off.
Come on,
I know.
Cam.
I'm sorry, Cam.
Come
I'm
on,
not trying
Cam.
To, be mean. I'm just
Think
being
of
honest,
something.
bro.
Think.
I got nothing to say.
No, they're just facts. We're just putting them as facts, and that's just how it is.
How about you, Joe? Who do you got?
Honestly, I don't even know these teams. I need like a good week, 2 weeks. When does it
Do
start?
you want the most underdog team possible?
Sure, give me
Omaha.
that.
Omaha!
That's my pick.
Yeah.
All right, Joe's going with Omaha. Speaking of Cinderellas, I'm going to go with the Drake Bulldogs, and that's because of first-year head coach Ben McCollum, who won 4 Division II national championships at his former school, Northwest Missouri State. Right now, the Drake Bulldogs are 27-3, including 17-3 in their Missouri Valley Conference. What happens when they face a team like Duke, Auburn, or Houston? I think they would give them a fight. You know why? Because that's the magic that March Madness can bring. Remember the name Drake Bulldogs when they go far or when they get eliminated first round or don't even make the tournament.
I'm texting you as soon as it happens.
It's not, all right? Get my magic fortune ball. Right here, the Drake Bulldogs are going to win March Madness. Believe that. And believe that you're going to be watching the next segment because we've got a very special one. We're talking about the newest entertainment menu in El Paso, Cinemark Gamescape. Oh, and we're also including a little bit of ASMR. Know why and stay tuned. You're watching the Prospector Podcast, Season 12, Episode 4. Guys, the best segment of today's episode has finally arrived. Because we're talking about Cinemark's new Gamescape, aka El Paso finally finding more entertainment menus in the city. And joining us to speak about it is our web and copy editor making her podcast debut, Evelyn Palma. Evelyn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, everyone.
Now, you might see a white box right in front of her. Evelyn brought us food, guys. We're going to be taste testing today.
Oh yeah, we was excited about that.
We're
Oh,
hyped.
yeah.
We were discussing this for a full week, so time has finally arrived. But first, let's get down to business. Cinemark Gamescape finally opened. It's got, obviously, food. It's got an intricate bowling experience, movies, laser tag, you name it. It's first of its kind in El Paso ever since Dave & Buster's opened in 2016. So the first thing we should discuss is how needed is this in a city that many people our age say is pretty boring and scarce of things to do?
Well, you know what? I think of it as when people say there's nothing here to do, it's because they have nothing going on. I know that's kind of mean, but that's just my
They have
take.
nothing going on?
Yeah, I kind of think of it that way, Well, then again, I've never
Oh.
lived in a
But-
metropolitan like LA or different places like that.
I can kind of see your point, but at the same time, if you want to just do something fun with your friends and stuff, I feel like there's only two, not
Yeah,
two, but
and
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
so maybe, yeah. But I understand what you're saying though.
I guess because my hobbies don't go into
But
the
when
community like that.
when you say that nothing's going on, do you mean it in the sense of business-wise? Because, yeah, people could say they have nothing going on in terms of homework and class, jobs, things like that. But as Cam was saying, when we're talking about, what do we do on a Saturday night, you don't really have many options, at least in my opinion. You have a Dave & Buster's, a couple of bowling alleys, but then not really anything. So, Evelyn, how different is Cinemark's Gamescape compared to the rest of the entertainment venues that we have here?
Well, I would say a lot of El Pasoans don't take advantage of the current entertainment venues we
Really?
already have. I feel like a lot of people will go to the mall for entertainment. It's usually just walking around there, even if you're not buying anything. I feel like that's the go-to, or maybe just going to a regular Cinemark to watch movies now that we have Cinemark Gamescape. But I think that the Cinemark or Gamescape by Cinemark is really cool because everything's under one roof. So I feel like especially for younger people who maybe need their parents to drive them around or drop them off places, that's a good place to go to try a lot of different things. So you have the arcade, you have laser tag, you have bowling, you have the movie theater, a restaurant. You have it all under one roof. That includes the climbing walls. So I feel like it's something really to get your energy out, and you can try a lot of different things with your friends, get out of your comfort zone. But yeah.
You interviewed a 20-year-old named Andres Favela who told you that he thinks that Gamescape is a better place than Dave & Buster's. And I'm curious as to when you say that El Pasoans aren't taking full advantage of the entertainment venues here. What do you mean by that? Are you insinuating that we have more options than we think, or are places hidden gems, hidden from public eye? Is Dave & Buster's cool? Like, what's running through your mind when you make a claim like that?
I would say that maybe El Pasoans are used to complaining that there's nothing to do.
Yeah. That's true though.
Yes.
Like, it's like what Kristian's saying a little bit, or Cam. You just need to like get out and look for things to do. So Dave & Buster's may be really cool, but who are the people you're going with, you know?
They might as
So
well, yeah.
I feel like it's your experiences are what you make out of them.
But in terms of options, though, there's Bobo's, but that's all the way on the west side. So unless you're Cam, who lives by Franklin High School, you're not really be going to there every single weekend.
Just Addy dropping.
Guys, by the way,
Love life, we know where
no,
you're
it's because
going.
listen.
Okay.
Listen, guys, all right? Today I ran into Cam in the morning, and he told me, yeah, man, I'm going home. It's like 11. And I'm like, dude, we're filming the podcast today. It's like, yeah. I live by Franklin. By the way, for context, Cam went to Eastwood. So he commuted every single day from the west side all the way down to Eastwood. So props to you, my boy. Thank you so much.
Always a trooper.
Number 0, defensive back, GOAT, GOAT. I really was hoping I didn't say J there. But, right, I didn't drop the exact Addy to be fair, but in speaking of terms of Bobo's in entertainment menus like that, you don't really have much of it on the east side. I can think of Oasis Bowling, and that's it.
And maybe Top Golf too.
Peter, yeah, but that's in the middle of the west and east side.
Oh, you mean like something on the east side to do?
Yeah, something on the east side. I know this is by East Lake, right? It's by East Lake?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I got that right. So, but then you're talking about what's financially friendly. I think Cinemark Gamescape has so many options that it can fit anyone's wallet. Evelyn, you going over there, is that statement accurate?
I think it depends. So the games, I would say, are a little bit more expensive. So, you know, when you go to Dave & Buster's and you're buying credits on the card, they'll have like, get this many credits for only this much to make it seem like you're getting
like
a good deal.
Like a bulk discount.
Yeah, well, Cinemark only has Gamescape only has maybe like 3 or 4 of those options. I don't know if it's because it's new right now, but they do include like bonus credits for when you go play these games. So also the credits for the games for the arcade are different from the credits to do the activities, which would be like rock climbing or like the wall.
So is laser tag more expensive than, say, bowling?
I didn't try bowling, so we'll have to.
Did you try out the laser
figure
tag
that
though?
out. I did not.
No?
No.
I was working. You
But-
can't just play the games.
But the part of the work was playing the games, right?
Yeah, like the notepad in one hand, the laser pointer in the other.
Nah, get the notepad out of here, dude. Just like strap a camera to your chest and
GoPro.
call it a day.
A
Exactly.
police body cam.
From Evelyn's POV.
Oh man, that's. By the way, speaking of, there's a lever on the chair if you want to make it higher.
Oh,
Do you have to like stand up? And
I don't want my feet dangling on camera.
no, you can't see your feet.
can't see
Kind
it,
of.
though.
No,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So then, Evelyn, I guess I would want to ask next is how probable is it that we continue to see venues like Gamescape trickle into El Paso, or did we just get lucky with the opening of this venue?
Okay, well, I think the difference between Gamescape and other entertainment venues, like we were hitting on earlier, is that it's something very new. Gamescape in El Paso is the first of its kind. So honestly, it's really cool that they opened it here in El Paso. I think the East Lake area is still expanding, so that was a good spot for them to put it, considering how much land there is. They were able to make it really big and do all the things that they wanted to do. I think Gamescape also took advantage of opening it here by bringing a lot of they really wanted to get in touch with the locals, and so that's where they created the regional food items, like I brought one today. So I think we're very fortunate that Cinemark brought it here. I think they really put a lot of thought into it. And like I mentioned in my article,
Shameless plug. By the way, you can read it on the www.prospectordaily.com. Or, no, it's not going to be our newest issue, but it's still check working out our month issue newspaper. Check it out. It's maybe available when this episode comes out. Maybe it won't. So we'll see. And that maybe gives you a sneak peek as to how early we filmed these. A little preview. A little preview. But as you were saying, Evelyn, continue.
So Gamescape would be considered a family entertainment center, okay? So these are doing really well in the economy because people now are focused less on materialistic things and they're focused more on experiences, which I think is really great. So I think that's why Gamescape's going to do so well here in El Paso. I mean, I went today to go pick up the food, and it was about like 11:30-ish, close to 12.
And we're about to see if it's worth it.
And there was like a good amount of people there.
On a work day?
On a
Really?
Thursday? On a dust day?
On a dust day, too.
We're
That's
filming.
Dune.
Yeah, we're filming this when this is Dune outside, basically.
Yeah, they're filming Dune Part 3.
Yeah, so I was really surprised to see the turnout on a random Thursday. So I think it's going to do really well here in El Paso, and I hope that with it being successful, with its opening being February 20th, already a couple weeks ago, I hope that other businesses see that success and maybe want to piggyback off of that, like Cinemark, and maybe they'll bring more opportunities here. I think it'll be really awesome.
Well, this is a question for everybody. Evelyn is the only one in this table who currently has a partner. The rest of us are single. Fun fact, her boyfriend...
This is this? I thought we were talking about Gamescape.
No. It's gonna lead into it. Give me a second. Let
him cook.
Yeah, fun fact though, her boyfriend played against Cameron Mason, and in that game in 2023, I was on the call, so we're all connected here. But for context, Evelyn went to Montwood High School, so do with that information as you will. But all right, guys, the point of that was that when we're talking about taking our friends or taking our significant others somewhere, does Gamescape come up as a valid option? No matter where you are, whether you're just friends, a first date, or maybe 3 years into a relationship.
I mean, Joe's going to take me out.
Yeah, what happened to your bro date, by the way?
I don't know. We're still planning it out. I don't know.
Maybe Gamescape?
Maybe he just forgot about me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's
Oh, man. Sorry, Kristian. We got tissues in the back if you need it.
What was the question?
Oh, man.
Bro, forgot the question.
Oh, man, you forgot the question.
Yeah, I got
All
that.
right, here's the question again. For friends, a first date, or relationships that have more in time, is Gamescape an option that you can consider taking someone to? Or maybe does it fold the money in the wallet just a little too much?
Well, based off of what Evelyn was saying, I guess it just depends what you can do. So low key, it probably could be like you want a low budget type of little fun activity. Don't go too far out. Like you don't gotta wild out and do everything there, but you can do like, you know, a little arcade or something like that. Or even if you want to put a little more into it, you go do laser tag or something like that. So I think it's a good little spot. But I have a question for you to that. Was that when you were there, do you think, because I know sometimes when these places do a lot of activities and they have a bunch of activities and it's just like one thing, the quality goes down for each type of experience or event, right? So do you think they did a good job of maybe putting it together and everything has the same good type of quality and it'll have like a fun experience no matter what you do?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing would be the movie theaters. There's less houses for the movies. So I think they show about maybe 6.
Okay.
You're going to have to fact check me on that. But they don't have many options for movies. Mostly the newest upcoming movies
Like the
that
thing that's
just got
popping,
released,
yeah.
you know?
You're right, it was 6.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
There
6,
you
right
go.
on the
See,
dot.
I did my homework.
I know none of these movies. This is a terrible month for movies.
See, yeah, I would say that's
I mean, Dogman? Take someone out to go watch Dogman, am I right?
Dogman?
Yeah, Dogman, dude. You never heard of Dogman?
Wow.
It's the guy from Captain Underpants.
I saw that
Oh.
movie, but I
You
would
saw
say I
Dogman?
fell asleep. Yeah.
Oh man,
Sorry.
that is terrible.
Sorry to the Dogman fans, but yeah, I would say that's maybe where the entertainment quality would go down a little bit just
Okay.
because they don't have much of a variety as your average Cinemark movie theater. But try out all the other things, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's to be expected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing going. What I'm wondering is that is this a demographic like a Dave and Buster's demographic where it was like what they were appealing to young people about like, oh, you can have beer and then play games.
Well, it was
Or is more
everybody.
like a-
They're appealing to young people, to people who can obviously drink alcohol and have the money to spend at a Dave and Buster's. And Dave and Buster's has been around in El Paso since 2016. It's been the go-to destination, and
But have you gone to Dave and Buster's?
I have multiple times.
And when's the last time you've been to Dave and Buster's?
Summer 2024.
Oh my
Summer
God.
2024?
Yeah.
Really? And when was the last time you went to Piper Pizza?
Oh man, when was the last time? I think it was in the spring of 24. I think I was a senior in high school. It had to be somewhere around those lines.
Really?
Wow.
I've been to Dave and Buster's in like 3 years, dude.
Really?
It's been a while.
I mean, you need a special occasion to go.
To Dave and Buster's?
Yeah, I think so, because depending on where you live, making the drive all the way to Bassett is definitely it's long,
Yeah.
and I think that's a problem too that Gamescape is eventually going to run into, that it's all the way in Eastlake. What happens to the people that live by the UTEP side? What happens to the people who live far east? So since you have a city that's not really used to driving long distances, these big things can either attract a lot of people, like Evelyn was saying, on a random Thursday, or they might just not gain the foot traffic necessary. I mean, it depends on all the situations going in. But they've got bowling, they've got movies, they've got laser tag, arcade, climbing wall, a ropes course, and a restaurant. Which leads us to the final part of today's podcast episode, guys. We are going to taste test some of Gamescape's food and give you the best opinion over whether or not their menu is worth it. Evelyn, what did you bring us today?
Today, I have brought us birria pizza.
Oh, okay.
If you want to read the ingredients on there.
Definitely. So the ingredients are error 404. We cannot find the page you're looking for. Yeah, no.
Is that spice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spice. Let's see here. All right, we got. You okay, Jess? Jess
excited.
wants the pizza now, guys. We told her about this taste test a couple while ago, so she's raging currently. All right, we got hatch queso base with mozzarella and shredded birria meat, garnished in cotija cilantro leaves, Cinemark slap sauce, and birria consomme, and an aioli swirl. I don't know why I had such a tough time reading that. Fun fact, I didn't know what cotija cheese was until production day. Evelyn had to tell me because I was like, hey, what do you mean by this? And she's like, cotija. And I'm like, what is that? I thought it was something else completely. Sorry, Evelyn, I apologize.
All right, it's a cheese.
It's a cheese. All right,
Cheese.
I'm ready to taste this cheese. Let's open
yeah.
up that box.
It actually smelled really good when they handed it to me.
It looks really
It
good.
looks
Oh
good.
my
All
God.
right.
Oh, all right,
See
all right,
that
all right.
slap sauce?
Jess,
on
come
there?
back, come back, Jess. Welcome, joining
You
us
wanna bring a
back is
chair? Or do
Jess.
you wanna, like-
Roll up a chair. We just had a segment. Rewatch it. Cafecito en Socorro. This episode has been all about food and drinks, guys. I mean,
Oh, it
a
has.
very aesthetic episode. I wish we had more
I love
headphones in.
episodes like that.
All right, guys, we got to be gentlemen. All right, ladies first. Ladies
Yes.
first. Get to
And
grab a
give me your
slice.
commentary on
Can
this.
we
Okay, perfect. Ladies first.
adjust a little bit here?
I'm gonna move your.
Would you ever have guessed we
Talking
would
about
be eating pizza on one of these episodes?
No, I wouldn't have guessed that.
You go first.
Okay.
But I'm glad it happened.
Yeah. Now the question is, do we eat this like an ASMR type style? You just
Yeah, we did right into
I
the
don't
mic.
think
Right
I
into
into
the
the
mic.
mic.
What does this have on it again?
Slap sauce.
Slap sauce. Slap sauce.
Should we all be taking our first bites?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it
Give one to
together.
Kristian.
Yeah.
Feels like Thanksgiving, guys. All right, guys. We got to keep it clean.
Bring birria pizza to the next production night.
That would work. That would make it fun.
Thank you,
Next
good sir.
production day.
Production and play. Production and play.
I was actually really worried that they wouldn't do to-go boxes at Gamescape, but they do. Surprisingly. So if you ever feel like takeout, go get you some
All right,
pizza
y'all.
at Gamescape.
guys.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Cheers. This is the beef birria pizza from Gamescape. Let's take a munch, a bite, whatever you say. That smacks.
I'm pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought the sauce would like smack me harder. Or maybe I just have a different interpretation of smack. Like I thought it was gonna be like, whoa, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like it smacks. Yeah, just like how you said, you know?
Now the question is,
It's slap.
it slaps. It literally slaps. I mean, they're trying to go for like something spicy, but it's not necessarily. But it genuinely tastes like they just slapped. Get it, pun? Slap BD on a pizza. Cam's already halfway through. Look at this man. He's folding it like a taco.
It's super cheesy, for sure.
I'm not disappointed.
I think it could use more birria.
I don't think it was as spicy as I expected it to be. I'm not gonna lie.
I did expect the spice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have so many people that you need to watch the spice levels to make it accessible for everybody, at least.
It's
You know?
good though. This is really good.
Man, all right, this just turned into an ASMR episode. We have one more slice. That's for you. We'll give you that slice if you go ahead and subscribe to the Prospector YouTube channel and watch the rest of our podcast episodes while you are at it. But for now, from all of us at the Prospector Podcast, a huge thank you to our co-hosts Cameron Mason, Kristian Hernandez, our guests Jess Garcia, and Evelyn Palma for joining us. You were watching the Prospector Podcast, Season 12, Episode 4. I'm Sebastian Perez-Navarro. We'll see you next time, but for now, we're over and out. This pizza slaps!